for people watching UCF for the first time against Florida, and there's going to be a lot of people that, of course, just want to watch college football in every bowl game they can get a hold of. They're going to see this team for the first time. So give us a couple of players on both sides of the ball to look out for.
Well, for UCF, I'm going to be keeping a very close eye on, obviously, your freshman quarterback, Mikey Keene, who, has as he goes, so goes the offense. But the other thing that you got to look out for is the running game. Gus wants to establish the run. To what extent do we see Isaiah Bowser play, having recovered from the injury that he suffered against Louisville? I'm not 100%. We're still not 100% sure on that. He was available toward the end of the year in what we were called emergency situations only. But we are going to see most likely plenty of Johnny Richardson out there for UCF, who's been fantastic, and get ready to see a lot of Ryan O'Keefe too, because that speed on the outside. Ryan O'Keefe is the fastest player on the roster. He's going to be exciting to watch. And for Florida, it's Florida really intrigues me because we just don't know what we're going to get from them, right now. We see, obviously Emory Jones and everything, but and this was the number 10 team in total offense in the country, and they finished 6-6, and they were 121st in turnover margin. So, we really don't know, what we're going to get from Florida right now. I mean, they have, like I said, Dan Mullen got fired. They have Greg Knox as their interim head coach. We just don't know what is going to be the situation regarding him. Emory Jones has announced that he's already heading into the transfer portal. So this is all kind of like, really, uncharted territory, I think, for Florida as a program as they get ready to do this coach transition, and they already have with Billy Napier. But, on this at the same time, I think like you were hinting, at before, that this is a Florida team that has a bunch of other guys out there that have something to prove. Sure, there's a couple guys out there that are, looking for somewhere to go, but they want to show wherever it is that they may go that they're worth the trouble. And in addition, you have a bunch of guys on the roster you want to prove to the incoming coaching staff that, hey, you want to roll with me. So, I don't know. It's the big question to this game. Florida is a 6.5 point favorite right now, but the question is does Florida show up and take this game seriously? Do those guys, come out to play, or are they just playing out the string? Because UCF has their complement ready to go. There is no doubt that these guys, that UCF is the team that's punching up in this game. They want this game. All right, so what happens? I think the first quarter is going to be very key. Whichever team scores first, I think is going to have a major leg up in this game, and I think it's going to be tight. I think it's going to be a very tight ball game. So I don't know. We'll see. This is what we always hope for from these non-playoff, quote major bowl games, right? It's like, give us a good matchup, give us some intrigue, give us something to talk about, and we've got it in this game.
And hey, if Florida doesn't show up and try, then it's, of course, their own fault, but especially considering that they had a matchup with Florida State where the winner goes to a bowl game, the loser doesn't. So they played for this. They showed up in that game with all hell breaking loose and transition all over the place and upheaval.
And won that game on the road, too.
Yeah, on the road. In the midst of that, they, I don't want to say dominated the game, but they were clearly the better team against Florida State. So they played for this. Just want to make sure. So when I say both sides of the ball, I'm looking at like Big Cat Bryant, guys like that. Are they playing? Tatum Bethune led you in tackles, 101. Those guys, Quadric Bullard, some of those key players on defense as well.
Those guys are all going to be there and ready to go. And I think that, the full complement of defense and Travis Williams, the defensive coordinator, I think, we've seen his scheme sort of evolve over the course of the year as the players have become a lot more comfortable with it. I think they've really taken to it. I mean, the defense for UCF is what really won them a bunch of games this year. Go back to the most recent game against South Florida. So a bunch of one-score games, right? South Florida, one-score game. Tulane, one-score game. East Carolina, one-score game. And Boise State was a one-score game that UCF won. And it's the defense that kept UCF in it when the offense was struggling. Because, hey, true freshman quarterback, right? He's going to have his good days. He's going to have his bad days. But the defense was what really stepped it up for UCF. And even in the games where UCF won big, like I think back to the game at Temple where UCF dropped 49 points on Temple, what really brought that game home was the defense shortening the field for the offense. So I'm looking forward to seeing what the front guys can do. Big Cat Bryant, like you said, has had a fantastic year. He was invited to the Hula Bowl, which will be held at UCF this year, that college all-star game. Mackenzie Milton actually coming back and playing his final collegiate game at the Bounce House. That's going to be fun. What's this defense going to do against an SEC offensive line? I think that's going to be a really interesting and intriguing battle up front. And you know how it is. It's, whichever team dominates the trenches is going to win the game. And if UCF can get pressure on Florida, again, if they can hold the running game and get pressure on Florida's quarterback, it should be a good day for UCF's defense. And that's just a question of, hey, do you make some plays? Maybe you get a turnover, a good special teams play. The South Florida game kind of turned on a special teams play with Titus Mokiao-Atamalalo, running that sort of that okey doke punt return, where everyone runs in one direction and the punt's actually going the other, and then he fields it and there's nobody there. That's the, do you make some plays happen that kind of give you the momentum and get your crowd going in the game? Because this game is going to be a wild atmosphere for this bowl game. 65,000 people in Raymond James. So, whichever crowd brings it, I think is going to have a real leg up because it's going to get rowdy.
Jeff spotlights Big Cat, 13 tackles for loss, 6 sacks coming in from Auburn. And on the offensive side, Ryan O'Keefe, 77 catches, 6 touchdowns, gave him the ball as a running back 12 times, and he went for almost 14 yards per carry.
Yes. And a lot of the 77 catches, they were kind of like extended running plays, where that Gus likes to run from, just getting him the ball out in space. They were forward passes, but they were really like long tosses. So it's just a question, how do you get him the ball? And that's what UCF was able to do this year.